lady's whereabouts?" Luciano tensed, his wide, sensual mouth compressing. "No, I do not." "May I ask—" Choosing tact over frustration, Charles left the question hanging, wishing that his wealthiest client would be a little more forthcoming. But Luciano Vitale, the only child of Sicily's once most petrifying mafia don, had always been a male of forbidding reserve. A billionaire at the age of 30, he was a hugely successful businessman and, to the best of Charles's knowledge, resolutely legitimate in all his dealings. And yet his very name still struck fear into those who surrounded him, and they paled and trembled in the face of his displeasure. His loathing for the paparazzi and the ever-lingering danger of his criminal ancestry making him the target of a hit ensured that he was encircled by bodyguards, who kept the rest of the world at bay. In so many ways, Luciano Vitale remained a complete mystery. Charles would have given much to know why a man with so many more appealing options had chosen to pick a surrogate mother to bring a child into the world. "I will not be responsible for sending the apparent mother of my son to prison," Luciano said without any expression at all. "There is no doubt in my mind that Jemima deserves to go to prison, but I do not wish to be the instrument that puts her there." "Quite understandable," Charles chimed in, although it was a polite lie because he did not understand at all. "However, the police are already looking for her, and notifying them of her location could be done most discreetly." "And then what?" Luciano prompted. "The elderly grandparents receive custody of my son, and the authorities are forced to enter the picture to consider his welfare. You have already warned me that the surrogacy arrangements receive a divergent and uncertain reception within the UK court system. I will not take any risk that could entail losing all rights to my son. But the Barber woman has already made it clear that she will only surrender the boy for a substantial sum of money, and you must not, you cannot offer her cash because it would put you on the wrong side of British law. I will find some acceptable and legal way to bring this matter to a satisfactory conclusion." Luciano breathed softly, lean brown fingers flexing impatiently on his thighs. "Without damaging publicity or a court case or sending her to prison." Warily encountering his client's cold, dark eyes, Charles suppressed a shiver and tried not to think about how Luciano's forebears had preferred to clear their paths of human obstacles, with cold-blooded murder and mayhem. He told himself off for that imaginative fight of fancy, but he could not forget that chilling look in Luciano's gaze or his notorious ruthlessness in business. He might not kill his competitors, but he had never been a man to cross and was known to exact harsh retribution from those who offended him. He doubted very much that Jemima Barber had the slightest comprehension of the very dangerous consequences she had invited when she had reneged on her legal agreement with Luciano Vitale. "See," Luciano brooded, he would achieve his goal because he always got what he wanted, and anything less was unthinkable, particularly when it came to his son's well-being. If the little boy proved to be his, he would take him whatever the cost, because he could not possibly leave an innocent child in the care of such a mother. Jemima tidied the flowers on her sister's grave. Her crystalline blue eyes were stinging like mad, and her heart squeezing tight with misery inside her. She had loved Julie, and hated the reality that she had never got the chance to get closer to her natural sibling and help her. Born to an unknown father and a drug-addicted mother, the twin girls had ended up in separate adoptive homes. Julie had briefly been deprived of oxygen at birth and had required major surgery soon afterwards. Her sister had not been available for adoption until after her treatment was complete, a full 2 years later. Jemima, however, had been much more fortunate in every way, she thought guiltily. Her middle-aged adoptive parents had adored her on sight, adopted her at birth and given her a wonderfully happy and secure childhood. Julie had been adopted by a much wealthier couple, but her developmental delays and problems had disappointed and embarrassed her parents. Ultimately, the adoption had broken down when her sister was a wayward teenager, and Julie had ended up back in care, rejected by the parents she'd loved. It was no surprise to Jemima that from that point everything in her twins' life had gone even more badly wrong. The twins had not met again until they were adults, and Julie had tracked Jemima down. Right from the outset, Jemima and her parents had been captivated by her lively, charming twin. Of course, that had gone wrong as well for all of them, Jemima acknowledged reluctantly. But perhaps it had gone worst of all for little Nicky.